Hello, this is HighZealot here, and welcome to E3 of Second Operation Ascend. This is the Clash Second Sovereign Pacific Ocean Battle, according to the English translation of their map name. You can see here we're using a combined fleet once again. This is a carrier task force, which is a must because surface task force will be sent to a dead end. You're gonna see is a green. This is a new tag. All ships who are sent to E3 cannot be sent to any other map except E7, which can allow anything except for E5, and they can obviously be sent to E6, which also contains the green tag. This is primarily the reason why you would, if you're doing hard E3, you could really benefit from sending your big guns like the hotels and a torpedo cruiser. Because E6, it is possible to bring a torpedo cruiser with a special route, like you have to bring like Yudachi and Ayanami. I think there's another combination which lets you bring a torpedo cruiser, but it sends you through the night battle route, which may or may not be ideal. You can see I brought Akisuki here for the anti-air cut-in. I would say that's not necessarily required, and you might be better off bringing like Yudachi for like better night battle against the boss. One thing to know if you haven't been here for the Prass defense is a carrier task force, your escort fleets attack first, and your main fleet attack second. Which means you will probably end up being torpedo because your escort fleet always gets only one round of shelling. And torpedoes from the enemy can potentially ruin maybe a run or two. So you can always, since you're going to be bringing 4 carriers, you may as well put 1 carrier as the flagship and then put on the lowest slot a command facility, so you can, theoretically have someone be escorted out. Though that could potentially have, since it is your escort fleet being torpedoed, that could very well lead to you just losing both your destroyers at once. Since also one thing to know is that combined fleet, once again, it's low accuracy. You want to use probably fit guns, and which is another reason why hotels not only have big firepower, they have 46 cm cannons, or their fit guns. I did not give them the 51 cm cannons. If you managed to get those from the previous event, I did not bring them along because I feel like there's probably, I believe there is the drawbacks to using them is not really worth the extra firepower. I mean, already with them with an AP shell, they're already reaching 199 firepower. I believe the firepower max for a hard cap for a combined fleet may be larger than a normal fleet, but regardless, you're still 199, still already a lot of firepower. So you may think maybe if I had to go back, I would try out giving them a 51 cm cannon each just to see how it works, because it might work better, it might not, but you never know until I tried. So you may want to try that. AP shells, I would say are a must. And also use a scout plane for artillery spotting, so your battleships once again end up with no radars, which gives you potentially put radar on a heavy cruiser in your second fleet if you're using that. For your shipping part of the map, I would suggest I would say you should, if you use an Ayanami or someone like who's not Yudachi, let's say you just have a destroyer with decent luck, I would say give them 2 torpedoes, and if you have a skilled lookout, just give them a skilled lookout. Maybe even, I did use Yudachi at one point and I gave a double attack setup. You may benefit from trying to go with full on cut-in for your destroyers, because their cut-ins will obviously do more damage than a double attack setup, and while destroyers do shine best in night battle, the double attacks could potentially not do much. And Akisuki here, she has some uses. She can potentially shoot down all the bombers of an enemy, but you could benefit just more firepower is, I would say, potentially more beneficial. Especially if you want to get to the final kill faster, you may not want to bring her along. And also things to know is that from the two, from this node and the airbound node, I usually lose about maybe 30-ish air superiority. So I did bring a lot, like probably more air superiority than I needed. I believe for the boss, according to Wiki, you need about 420 for air superiority. English Wiki says 190. So, but I ended up bringing over 500 air superiority, and this is before you account skilled Raikus or skilled fighters in general. Skilled anything. Your skilled fighters are unlikely to go. It's pretty much they're never gonna get all shot down, unlike your bombers. So they're always gonna get probably gonna reach max level by the final kill anyway. So you could by the final kill you could replace some of your fighters for bombers. You wanna use the air calculator. Because I know the Yubari fork from Kenko Fury does not take into account skill levels of your fighters just yet. Not sure whenever if that update will ever come out. So you want to use the air calculator to see how your fighters should be put and how many bombers you can afford to put using that system. The boss itself is containing the Seaplane Tender Princess. Or Hime, depending on whatever you prefer. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. It's the same thing. One thing to know is that she does do an initial torpedo phase, like your torpedo cruisers do, which can potentially be annoying against you, especially if you not shoot crit your torpedo cruiser to red. It could ruin your night battle right there. Also, thing to know, on hard you have 2 Yorktons. I still call both this one and the I believe it's the princess. This one's the demon, so soon the other one's princess. We'll call both of them Yorkton. They always felt like one was just literally damaged Yorkton historically. I talked about my reasonings before. It doesn't really matter now. What I really know is that I had a green tea here. I only remember 2 times when I had a green tea, and they were both very special cases. You'll see later. You're gonna see Yorkton, or once again they're pretty damn powerful. They can attack in night battle, but you can bring it even at orange, though they can't attack in orange. They can attack in day when they're medium damage. And you can see here the trios. They might not do anything, but you be careful because they could be annoying sometimes, especially bosses though. And you can see there, hotels do a lot of damage. Now you're gonna see, at my first sortie, I equipped all my carriers with bombers. Tai-Ho, unfortunately, she doesn't get a chance to show if she has any more bombers, but at the end after I finish off this battle, I do go and see which bombers are shot down. Kaga bombers were not shot down though. I've had tastes as well, even with everything else with 500 air superiority. But it ended up going to 460, 480 air superiority, and with Fatal Bombers in the 46 slot, I did end up having all 46 bombers shot down. So ideally, this is where you want to be, because with this situation, you can theoretically easily get the boss by herself, and then just kill off the boss after with your torpedo cruiser. You want night battle equipment just to increase your chance of cut-ins if you have anyone in cut-ins. Sendai, doing a bit of damage, and the boss is equipped with double attack setup. That torpedo you see is like the midget sub, so it doesn't actually give her a chance for a cut-in. Shows you double attack, which could be really deadly for us. And then we ended up just killing the boss right there. And then Kitakami, it's kind of forced to. She got killed and then she just nukes Yorkton. So. But if you know you are into trophy ships, Misuho drops from E3 on all difficulties and appears only to be S rank. So ideally, if you like trophy ships, you should farm her on not hard, because I've only had 2 cases where I've S ranked this node, the boss, 2 extreme successful cases, which is also related to green tea. Green tea, let me S rank the boss twice. And those are the only cases, and you can see her, there she is right now. You get your trophy ship. I was lucky. I don't usually, do these pickies and just farm it and then sit it hard later. I usually just do it for completion. You can see here, player bombers get shot down. I ended up just replacing them with fighters, and then doing this. So no, on the final kill, there is very little change to the boss. She gets a bit more air superiority, I believe, but other than that, it's exactly the same. You can see, right now, all my raid poos are maxed out, so I ended up putting more bombers. Before, on the previous battles, I've ended up like going with very minimal bombers because I, you know, didn't want to get shot down and lose their skill levels, but you know, it's not really that big of a thing. And having the bombers do help, because you can see that the torpedo bomber did end up, you know, hitting that destroyer. They didn't kill it, but those destroyers have really high accuracy. Support fleet, and they tried to do, they did the best. Of course, that torpedo bomber did kill that destroyer, and green here again, so you don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, you can see Bismarck. You know, Bismarck, her role is pretty much to just take the damage. I mean, with her torpedo shots, that she just is the best. I consider the best battleship for Night Battle, but everything else is usually better. One thing to note, my equipment setup is Sendai has the 2 German guns. Ayanami has torpedo cut in with skilled lookout. Yudachi has 2 of her own guns. Her Type B, Kai, second, you know, her guns basically. Bismarck has the usual 38 her guns plus the scout plane. I believe she has an AP shell, maybe? I don't remember. She either has that or a radar. Chokai has cut-ins, so with 3 torpedoes and a skilled lookout. And Kitakami also has, you know, cut-in with a midget sub for the injured phase. So ideally here, once again, you wanna kill, you hope they kill everybody who's not the boss. So you don't have to worry about them being alive and taking away your focus from the enemies, which is always the annoying part. And that right there is pretty much the best we could hope for. It's the same setup situation as back in our first battle, and the only time we S-ranked the boss. Here we're about to see some good stuff from Sendai in just a moment. Once you know this stuff all happens. Also, Seaplane also does Night Scout Plane also gets more skilled. I think probably activates more with higher skill level, and you can also see a skilled lookout plus your own. I'm not exactly sure. A skilled lookout just is a flat increase in chance or is independent of the actual luck, but who knows? It doesn't really. It's still helpful, still useful, and you can see they'll kill the boss right there. Nobody else even got a chance. Didn't even get Chokai. And she had 3 torpedoes. Support fleet, not 100% necessary, but you might want to bring them along. You might be better offering a route support actually, because then your escort fleet will be less likely to get sent back, especially on their first node, which is the torpedo phase there can still be kind of deadly, even on C, because it is said that C is easier than node B, but they're both torpedoes are both deadly. And for this, yeah, the final kill was actually really hard for me, but then after seeing this, this battle was very anticlimactic. Also hard and medium. You get the 15-meter duplex radar rangefinder plus Type 21 radar Kaini. You get reinforcement expansions and repair teams. This is for medium and hard. Hard, you get repair goddesses, 1 repair goddess and 3 screws. Easy, you just get the reinforcement expansion and repair team. So medium is what you want to do it on, and we don't really care about anything else. If you just for that large radar, which is going to be really good, because it's a really good radar. Just judging on appearance, because it looks awesome. Yeah, this boss, it was really annoying because, like I said, these 2 battles you've seen on this video were the only times I killed the boss. Also, I added shadow to the actual display of how resource changed to make it try to make it clear, easier to see. You can also see the lots of bombers were shot down on that. And also, I noticed that one that did not. Some of the skill level was 1, despite being shotgun. Support fleet, I gave him Nagato both 51cm cannons, and it's the basic stuff. Trying, I don't even know if radars really help or they're just placebo effect. But either way. And one thing to note is that on all difficulties, you get the Type 97 torpedo bomber with their Mulata squadron, which is used for a bunch of quests that really this event to get more stuff, and then you can eventually, after you beat, I believe is you maybe SE5 maybe. Yeah, I think maybe after you beat one of the maps, you can eventually convert it to a different model of bomber in a different phase. Still torpedo bomber though, but it's now better with a plus 50 in the Tencent model troll later. But it's only after a while. You have to scrap a few torpedo bombers to get it. But other than that, you also get a bunch of other rewards from doing the quest. Up next is E4, which is the return of the airfield team, Mei. And she is gonna be tough from what I've heard of her. And, well, I have enough research so she'll probably die eventually, but it's gonna be hard. Remember, always have your tape free sales, because it's an installation tape. I'll see you guys next time, and good night.